Facebook and YouTube later မင်္ဂလာပါဆရာဆရာမနဲ့မိတ်ဆွေများခင်ဗျာ welcome to our knowledge sharing program this is a knowledge sharing for everything including agriculture forestry animal science livestock education engineering so and so this is a normally for the new participant, we have been practicing for 4 years, especially almost every Saturday at 8 p.m. As well as our colleague from forestry, they are also doing forestry knowledge sharing program every Saturday at 3 p.m. Okay, today, Professor Daniel Tan, one of my colleagues, we met in University of Sydney this year to talk about his presentation about robotics in agriculture. Before his talk, I would like to introduce Professor Daniel Tan biography first. Professor Daniel Tan graduated from the University of Queensland with a Bachelor of Applied Science Horticulture Technology honors in 1991 and PhD program in 1999. So we have the same supervisor. Professor Shu Fukan is his supervisor as well as my supervisor. He is currently the Faculty of Science Postgraduate Coursework Program Director, Master of Agriculture and Food, Team Lead, Development Agriculture at the Sydney Institute of Agriculture, and Node Lead, Agriculture, Food and Environment of the Sydney Biennial Center. This is a country convener, Cambodia at the Sydney Southeast Asian Center. He is a food safety lead in the CGIAR Fresh and Better Food and Nutrition Project. Daniel researches crop agronomy, specializing in crop biotic stress, post-harvest management, and food safety in farming system. His ongoing work on farming system and food safety has been supported by the Grain Research and Development Corporation of the Australia, Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, DFAT, and Australian Centre for International Agriculture Research, the International Food Policy Research Institute, and the World Bank. He is also now working with ACIA project in Cambodia. Hopefully, we would like to work with Professor Daniel Tan in our country, I mean in the near future. Thank you, Professor Daniel. Floor is for you. Floor is open for you. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Miltri Sayaji. And
Okay.
so I'll try to share my screen, see whether it works.
Yes. Please.
Okay, let's see. I think it's working, maybe.
Yes, working.
It is working. Let me see whether I can. Okay, still working. Let's see.
We can hear, yes.
You can hear, you can see my slides?
We can see also, we can hear your voice. Yeah, we can see your voice.
Okay. So that's good that you can see and hear. So I'll just say thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk to your group, because I work with a lot of farmer cooperatives, and I'm very pleased to present to Golden Plain Cooperative. And I mentioned before, I used to live in Ngui Chayan a long time ago, and that's in Town Oglala, same township as your headquarters. So so I'd say to everyone, Tuyada Wanda Bade. And so my talk is a lot about in Australia, but I'll end up with a bit of some of the work that we've been doing in Cambodia as well. But there's maybe a little bit of that. But I'll just maybe share the things that we are doing in Australia at the moment, so you can see what the latest technology is around and why we're using it. I think one of the main reasons we're using this technology is we are losing a lot of staff, a lot of young people. They want to do IT, technology, become engineers, and they don't want to be farmers anymore. So what we're trying to do now to encourage new students to actually, embrace and enjoy technology and use more robotics to try to replace the labor shortage that we have. So that's the main problem we have here. So I'll just quickly go through the seminar outline. So quickly just go through what's happening in autonomous vehicles and robotics. We don't have a lot of robotics in Australia. A lot of it we are still developing, and sometimes the farmers cannot wait, so they want to import from overseas the robotics from overseas because we haven't got all the robotics that we need here. So I'll just quickly go through that. Some of the things that we've been doing, a lot of it is we're bringing in machines from overseas and testing with farmers here. And if they like it, they will buy it. That's some of the strategies that we're having. So I'll talk about the first showcase that we had in 2023 and the second showcase and a bit of robotics in harvesting. We actually haven't got any robotics in harvesting in Australia at the moment. Um, but we are investigating. We are working with some the manufacturers in Canada and USA and Europe to see whether we can introduce some new robotics into harvesting as well. And I'll talk just very briefly about our work in Cambodia as well, and some of the drone work that we've been doing in Cambodia as well. So some of the robotics is not new. We have done a bit of robotics work in dairy. So a lot of our dairies, like the Lavo is one of the companies. They actually produce automatic robotic dairies so that we don't have to milk them early in the morning. It's very hard for our people, young people who want to sleep long hours. They don't want to wake up at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning to milk them. So now a lot of the dairies in Australia are robotic, but it's very easy for dairy because in dairy it's all in one place. The cows come to the robot, so it's easy. But when with other field robotics, the robots have to go out to the field. It's more difficult, more challenging. So in Sydney University, we have an Australian Centre for Field Robotics, and that's where we are developing new robotics systems, like SWAT like this is a ladybird here, and also transport systems that are a bit robotic, like our, I think, Sayaji Miltri has been to Sydney. He's probably sat on uh, the metro. The metro is a robotic train. We don't have any drivers. So that's an example of a transportation system that is robotic. So I just quickly go through, see, this is what the research at Sydney University is doing at the moment. A lot of it is still early stages, not commercialized yet. This is the Ladybird, that one of the first robots that we have built. So you can see it removing weeds in between the crops. This one is still early stages, harvesting. Pruning also early stages. This is the second generation Reaper robot. And this is what it's called green on green. So using AI to identify which are the crop and which are the weeds. And this is a precision spraying for disease control or insect control. So you don't spray the whole field, just spray in precision. This is some work that we're doing with developing countries like Indonesia. And these are the small two-wheel tractors that we are developing as well. Okay, so you can see that's what we're doing experimentally, but the problem with a lot of our farmers, our farmers are a bit larger than the ones in Cambodia or in Myanmar, where your farmers are quite small areas. Our farmers have large areas, so they don't want us to develop robots like slowly. They want it commercialized. They want to buy it and be ready to use. And also what they want is also to have like like our tractors that we have in Cambodia, or like four-wheel tractors or two-wheel tractors that they can get servicing, spare parts. And that's one of the problems that we have. I mean, if you buy a robot, it's very nice, but what happens if it breaks down? Who is going to fix it? And what about the data they collect? Like all this precision agriculture data. Who owns the data? So there's a lot of questions being asked now. Um, so you can see this is the first one. I'll show you some of the machines that they demonstrated. Some work, some don't work so well. So some of the, like this one, I point to this one. Um, the second one, like the one I saw last year, it wasn't there anymore. So the farmers didn't like it, so they didn't buy any. So some machines are not popular. So some machines are more popular than others. So I'll show you one by one. Okay. So this is the first one that was one of the first that brought in from Denmark. You can see it is called Robotics. It's a funny name. It's popular because it's got using a Kubota engine, a diesel engine. So that one is easy to fix because we can just buy a Kubota engine and replace it. Easy, to get spare parts. It's from Denmark, so that's the disadvantage. We don't have always get spare parts, but because it's Kubota, we can get spare parts. So you can see it's very simple machine. Use RTP. You don't have that in Myanmar, I don't think yet. But anyway, RTK is real-time kinematics, which means that it can drive by itself. It's got two one, with it's accurate, within 1 centimeter precision, right? So a lot of our tractors have that anyway. So this is not really that new. Just for weed control, cultivation, very simple, and it can turn by itself as well. So this is RTP, see that? Sorry, RTK, real-time kinematics. So no driver, runs by itself, and it can turn by itself as well. So you can see all our farmers down there, they're taking photos because this is a new machine. Just came in to Australia 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Okay, there's another one called the Farm Droid. It's a lot slower because it's battery powered. It's got solar powered as well, so you don't need diesel. So now it's very popular, a bit more popular because diesel is expensive, maybe in Myanmar also. Um, so so battery maybe better, maybe not because it's slow. But anyway, some companies in Australia like Qualpack and Calfresh, they have bought this, and it's a bit slow sometimes when you have lots of weeds. And when you have little weeds, it's okay. I'll show you the thing. It's very bit noisy as well, so you can see. So another cultivator, it's got a camera as well, so you can see, it goes in between the crops. So that's, and you can plant as well. That's a planting as well. Planting and weeding. No driver. You can see it can turn by itself. No driver. So that's the advantage, I guess. But very slow. You can see very slow. A lot of farmers said, "Oh, too slow. I have a big farm. This will never cover my whole farm." So that's a bit of a problem too. But very popular in Europe, right? A lot of countries in Europe have this little robot now. Okay, this is another one. It's called Stout. It's built by a farmer in Salinas Valley in California. Case New Holland, which is also a company in Australia as well, has bought a share, and they supply spare parts. And it's not totally robot. You have to drive it. You have to drive a tractor, and it's driven by the PTO of the tractor. CalFresh has one. I think it's not very popular this year. Last year, I didn't see any more. They bought one, and then I think they didn't like it. And other farmers didn't like it either. I'll show you why. You can see. So you can see it's not very well calibrated. Sometimes that it almost killed this cabbage or broccoli here. Um, Yeah, so I think it was designed by farmers in California. So it's for sandy soil, not so useful for our black soils that we have in Gatton or in Queensland. I think Professor Miltry knows this place in Gatton. So yeah, it's also killing this one. So not very good. And maybe I shouldn't say this on record, but a lot of farmers didn't really like this machine so much. Okay, I'll show you another one. This is one from Austria. It's just basically a camera. You can see a camera here. And it helps it to go on the right rows. That's all. So you need to drive a tractor. You can see it's not automatic. So this from Austria. You need to drive through. So it's not automatic. But the tractor, all our tractors here have this, right? Like you can see this thing here. This is the RTK, real-time kinematics. Basically, even if it doesn't drive, this one can drive by itself using this RTK. So if you're not familiar with RTK, what happens is that RTK, it uses the GPS that we use in our cars, but it is more accurate because the farmers have a base station to increase the accuracy of the driving of the tractor. So this guy doesn't even need to drive. He can use the RTK in the machine, in the tractor itself. I'll show you another one. Um, okay, this one is developed in Australia. So it had a problem. I think it used to be built in Emerald, a little town in Emerald, but they have problems making it because they don't have enough, I think, capacity to build it. I think they have moved to Toowoomba now, a bigger town. Toowoomba is about maybe 40 kilometers west of Gatton, and which is about maybe 40, 80, 120 kilometers west of Brisbane. So anyway, with being moved to a bigger town, it's got more like labor supply now, so they can build more. So it's still quite expensive. It's built in Australia. We can buy it for $250,000 plus GST, which is the 10%, or you can lease it for 8,000 dollars, sorry, per month. So it's two ways. You can see it's automatic, and it's also driven by diesel. So I'll show you. These are all my own videos, so it's not very good. So I was, my own using my iPhone to video all this. So you can see it can turn by itself. It's got RTK on top, it can drive by itself, and it sprays by itself as well. No driver, as you can see. It's driven by diesel. It's a diesel engine. Oh. So it's mainly used for spraying. You can see what it does. The two types of spraying, right? There's the old spraying, which means that they use what they call green on brown. Like this is green on brown. Brown means it's on fallow. So it's like our rice fallows in Myanmar or Cambodia. We have a lot of rice, and then we have a short fallow or long fallow between rice or mung bean or something else, right? Or galapi, the chickpea. Um, so we have rotations, and between the rotations, they maintain they kill the weeds, right? So you spray everything, but basically don't spray the whole. If you spray everything, you use a lot of herbicide, but what it does is that it just uses a sensor, so it only sprays where the weeds are, not the whole field. Okay, I'll show you the technology now. This technology was actually developed in Australia. It used to be called a weed seeker. Now they have what Americans have also used this and developed it further into the weeded technology, green on brown. So I'll show you green on brown technology. It's very simple technology. Nothing high tech about it. And let's see whether I can play it.
There is no voice, no sound, Daniel, is it right? Without the sound. We didn't hear the sound, is it right? Without sound, Daniel.
Oh, don't hear the sound. So
Yeah.
it's fine. Okay, let me stop this. Okay, you can't hear the sound at all?
No,
No sound?
no sound, no
Okay, never
sound.
mind. I just explained to you how it works, right? So let me see. No
No,
sound.
yes, it's
Uh,
okay.
but you understand the thing, the technology?
Right,
So
right.
I'll,
It's
I'll
okay.
stop it. I'll stop it.
It's okay. It's okay.
So what
Okay.
happens is that it's got this. I think the most expensive part of the technology is the. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. We hear
Okay.
your
So
voice
the
now.
most expensive part of the technology is the I don't know why there's no sound. It's very strange. Um. The most expensive part of the technology is the sensors. So basically what the sensors does is a very simple sensor. All it does is to detect where the weeds are. So basically it's green. Anything green, it will spray. So basically just spray the weeds in a fallow. Okay, so it's nothing high tech, no AI, nothing. Just simple green, anything green, it will spray. So it sprays the weeds in a fallow. So that's green on brown technology. Okay, I'll skip this one because it's not working well. So I'll skip this one. But this one is very popular now in Australia and America and Europe as well. Because it's very simple, no need AI, no need anything. Um, and used for controlling weeds and very simple technology. So very popular. I think maybe 70-80% of farmers are adopting it because they can actually reduce their use of chemicals a lot. So that's why it's very popular. I'll skip this one and then because you can't hear. Okay, so that's another one. This is Flux Robotics, also developed in Australia. So I won't show you too much because this is an old version of it. This is 2 years ago. They just have a simple RGB camera, and this was actually green on green. So what it does is that it can tell which one is the weed, which one is the crop, and only spray the weeds, not the crop. But this is the old version with someone driving. I'll show you later a new version. They've been developing so fast. They have a new version. So I'll talk about the Flux later, but they have a new version of the Flux. Okay, so that was 3 years ago, and now last year they brought in more machines, and even the the old machines that the old developers in Australia, they have also upgraded their old machines to new machines as well. So I'll show you this latest ones from the October showcase, which is just last year. Okay, this one is a funny one. This one is a laser one. Um, it's very expensive. I don't know. I thought farmers won't buy it, but it was very funny. There's a story behind this. The I'm part of the Hot Innovations, like the group that funds all these machines that come into the country and try them out. So I'm on their strategic investment advisory panel, which is the board that decides which machine what we invest in. So this one was interesting because we wanted to like maybe just borrow one and put it on a ship to go to Australia. And the farmer, it was funny because one farmer flew to America and he didn't know that we have it on a ship. So he ordered one. He went to see it there in America and then he was interested. So he ordered one. And then they gave him the one that was on the ship on the way to Australia. So that's the story behind it. But anyway, this is a funny one. It's expensive, but I know the Chinese also are building a similar one, and that maybe they are selling it for maybe half the price or even cheaper. So maybe in future we can buy the Chinese one, maybe cheaper. Um, Also, it is a green on green technology, which means that it can use AI to identify which is a weed, which is a crop, and it uses laser to kill the weeds. Okay, so the lasers are also a second generation. The first generation can only last 1500 hours. The new diode lasers can last 15,000 hours. So it's got much longer duration. I'll show you how it works. It's just using AI to identify which are the crops and weeds and then sprays the weeds only. Okay. So you can see, maybe not so simple, but it's like Star Wars. Have you watched Star Wars, the movie or the whole series? What it does is that basically it has a camera and it can identify which is the crop and which is the weeds, and it only kills the weeds, not the crop. So we are testing now to see how accurate it is now. But that's the gist of that technology. There's a few others. The Swiss or the Europeans, there's one called Eco Robotics. So we brought one in to test it out. It's quite expensive too, 500,000 as well. Um, and they have distributors now in Queensland and New South Wales. So I'll show you how it works. It's basically like the laser one, but instead of shooting it with a laser, which uses a lot of energy, of course, it sprays the herbicide on the and it also has what you call because one of the big problems we have in Australia is that we have strong winds and it has also drift blowing the sprays away. So this one has as you can see, some protection so that the wind doesn't it reduces the drift, but you can see how it works. So can you hear what he said just now? When I mean when I'm doing the videoing that someone is talking, can you hear that?
No, no.
Nothing at all. Oh, okay.
One participant suggested that you stop sharing and then include voice. Is that right?
Ah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
include
yes.
Include
voice.
sound system or
But
what?
can you hear me when I'm talking? When
Yeah,
the thing
Talking
is
is
what?
we hear. Yeah, yeah, we hear.
yeah, talking,
But
but
So
there's
maybe what I'll do
only
is
voice
I'll just
over.
tell you the main parts of it. So you cannot hear, but I can hear. So I'll just tell you the key features. So the key feature is basically the skirt thing that goes around it to protect from the wind blowing. So that's
right,
what it does. You
right.
don't need to hear what he says. These are all people, marketing people. We don't want to hear what they say anyway. So I'll keep going.
Okay,
So this is the Flux, right? So that remember I said that was the Flux, the early version, 2 years, 3 years ago, and this is the latest version they have. So this becomes like a robot. You don't have to drive a tractor. So it's the same company, but they have developed a green on green technology, right? So this is a second generation. No more tractor drawn. It's all like a little robot. So it's very similar to the early the Danish ones that were brought into Australia. Oh yeah, so basically, I don't know whether they copied them or something, but it's very similar to me anyway. So this is the Flux Rover, which is Australian sprayer. You can see it doesn't spray everything. It sprays only the weeds within the crops. So it uses AI to identify which are the weeds and the crops. But what happens is that you can't spray like glyphosate or paraquat because you'll kill everything because it's sort
yeah,
of so close. But what it does is it sprays a selective herbicide, for example, 2,4-D or something, or some kind of selective herbicide that doesn't kill the onions, but will kill the broadleaf and other crops. But it'll be selective. But what happens is that it doesn't spray the whole field, so you don't waste the chemical. You only focus on the weeds. So I'll show you. You can see that it doesn't spray the onions much. It only sprays mainly the other weeds. Okay, you can see it's spraying not the whole field, just mainly the weeds spray more, and then the onions they spray less because it doesn't. It uses AI to work out which is the weed and which is the crop. Okay, so this is the rover. Okay, so it's they're quite new. I think they haven't built many. I think they built two or three. So the problem with a lot of these technologies in Australia is that they only build two or three. Farmers want, I know a lot of these machines now. They don't want to wait for two or three machines. So that's the problem. Okay, I'll keep going. There's a few others. It's really expensive. We probably don't want to hear about this. I'll just show you quickly. This is a New Zealand one. I don't know why they built this. Looks very much like our own Australian robot, but looks like a tank actually. So hey, like a tank. I don't know. I don't know whether it's popular or not. So far, I don't think anyone has bought it. But anyway, these are some of the German ones. I'm not sure how popular they are. They look like the other machines. They look all the same now. After you see one, you see them all. This is a German one, but I'll just quickly show you what it does. So, like the look at the start, right? I'll quickly go because it's pretty boring now. Looks all the same. And then we have a few of the Kiwi ones, the New Zealanders. They have built very small ones. I don't know, maybe in New Zealand they have very small orchards or something. And a little bit cheaper, I suppose. These are like automatic little two-wheel or four-wheel tractors, small ones. So you can see, I don't know whether it's really small. That's spraying, maybe pastures or something. Tiny machines. Maybe good for smallholders. I'm not sure. Okay. The Chinese have produced a lot of this type of ones, yeah. So even they are in Cambodia also. All right. So I asked my colleagues in Cambodia and they said, "Oh, we have this." And the Chinese have brought them in. And also the Czech Republic, they have built something similar as well. So a bit cheaper. You can see they are used for spraying, but they spray everything. They have no AI, nothing, just spray everything, right? So you can see like this. So it's all my video, not very good quality, sorry. So, but hopefully it comes out. I had too many little videos, so I had to put. Okay. Okay, New Zealanders, they build a lot of these little ones. I don't know. I don't know whether anybody bought this, but in New Zealand, the small tractors are very popular. Two-wheel tractors, I think. Oh, it's a three-wheel. Okay. Okay. Okay, now I'll show you some machines that are not yet in Australia, but our growers and our the Horticulture Innovation Australia, which is the group I'm working with, they are interested to introduce this to Australia. We have no machine like this yet. I think they only built three machines, as far as I know, for this one. Used to be called AHS, Automated Harvest Solutions, but they have like combined with a Dutch company to form a new company called Scyther or something. And this is not my video. I didn't take this video. I just videoed their video because I've never seen this machine. So and there's only three machines built. So maybe later next year we might bring one to Australia to test it out. But the problem is growers will not buy a machine unless they know it works on their farm. So we need to bring one machine over to test it. So that's what's happening. I'll show you this thing. Oh, here. So this is California. Okay. So it uses AI. Basically, you can work out what size they are and it harvests them. So it picks them. Yeah. This is one is the European one. They can do 24 hours because they have lighting. So okay. So that's the scythe. Okay. This is a Canadian one. I mean, it's funny. Two, Canada also developing their own. This one is a bit expensive, I think, but you can have a look. I don't know whether it works. I'll show you. I'll talk over it though. This is Canadian called semi. You can do also cauliflower and asparagus. Uses AI as well, as you can see. So it only picks the ones right right size. So 4,000. So you can see very expensive, even for Australians. They I'm not sure. Actually, now our farmers are debating whether we should buy one scythe or HS, or should we buy one, the Canadian one? Which one should we try first, because no farmer is gonna buy something that nobody wants to be the first one. Because sometimes the problem is we buy a machine, sometimes they don't work properly, we wasted the money, right? So it's not so good. But this is another one. This one is a interesting one. It's like a more like a processing one. So I'll show you quickly. So they lift them up, and then it's packed in the field, right? So they basically pack it. This is all done on the harvester. People are doing this on the harvester. And then they pack it basically. So there's still humans checking it. It's not all automatic. Some And then they wrap it. Yeah, this is mostly European. So it's like a harvester basically, but it's sort of like semi, human packing on the harvester. So quite heavy. The problem is it's quite heavy. So heavy may not be good for Australia too. Sometimes it rains and then you got a heavy harvester at the back. You might get bogged, you might get stuck in the mud or something. So it's some problems. So that we're not sure. Maybe we won't get this in Australia. Okay, so I'll go through now some of the new projects that we have in developing countries like Cambodia. So this is one of the first ones that robotic ones with our little tractor here called the farm digital farm hand. And we have brought it over there with our new project. And I'll show you quickly what we're doing also. Instead of making a new tractor, which is not very useful for Cambodia. What we're trying to do now is working with the Cambodians to look at what existing two-wheel tractors they have, and perhaps converting it, maybe a diesel or petrol engine, converting it into a robot, right? Like a two-wheel tractor robot. So one of the key things is that, we replace it, like the Cambodians, like RUA or Royal Agriculture University of Agriculture. We replace the combustion engine with electric motor, the clutch with direct coupling, the fuel tank with the lithium battery, and the throttle with like a electric throttle lever. Air filter, we don't need it anymore. We remove it. Exhaust, we don't need it anymore because it's the diesel is taken away. So basically, replacing the engine with the battery. So it becomes a little robot for the Cambodians to play with. So now what you can do now with as a robot, uh the girls, women don't like the two-wheel tractor because it shakes too much, vibration, too noisy and hard to maneuver. But they are happy to use this electric one because you can just press buttons, and sometimes it has also got you can program it to make it, like I mentioned, green on brown spraying or green on green. You can use high-tech precision agriculture applications. So this was going to be the last slide I was going to show you, but I thought I'll show you a few more so you can see what we've been doing in Cambodia as well. So as you know, we are quite lucky in Cambodia. I mean, there's a bit of small war with Thailand, but we don't have like civil war or anything. So they are able to use drones in Cambodia for agriculture. So drones, what happened here was Quebec, which is a DFAT, which is the Australian government, that they supported a company in Cambodia to make these drones available in Cambodia during COVID period, because COVID we can't do much. So this company, they imported the XX drone from XX Australia. Of course, this is actually a Chinese drone, XX China. So the drone can spray about 20 to 30 hectares a day. So Quebec supported the sale of this drone by sharing the service fee 50% with farmers to access this drone spraying. And by 2021, they sold about 24 units, 5 under the COVID support scheme, and 83 to service providers, and 17 to large landholding farmers. So our project, which I lead, CAMSIT, we call it, we carried out also some demonstrations in 6 villages using machine planting with a drone. No, the machine planting is by tractor, this little tractor, which is from Thailand actually. And then we use the drone to apply the pre-emergent herbicide. So we had a survey also of the drone service providers. The typical provider has 80 farmer clients, and they service 350 hectares. Drones are quite useful in Cambodia, but not very useful in Australia. Because Australia, we have big areas, like our rice fields are 400 hectares. We can't spray with drone. We have to use big helicopters or planes. So in Cambodia, the rice fields are very small. The fields there are like 1 hectare, 2 hectares. So we can use a drone, right? Maybe a drone is a small drone, only 25 liters. We can spray, whole hectare very quickly. So the service fee is very small, only $10 per hectare. So it's quite competitive. And it's quicker also than spraying by hand or spraying by, like a boom spray or something. And disadvantages that they mentioned, because they have to repair and replace parts of the drone, but most service providers say they can recover the purchase cost within 1 or 2 years. So at that time, they predicted the adoption will be between 15 to 90%. And now the recent survey last year showed that the adoption around Battambang and a lot of areas in Cambodia is now about 60%, right? So more than half of the farmers have adopted drone spraying, mostly by service providers. So we asked them, where did you learn about drone application? They said they learned from Quebec, which is the DFAT group from the Australian government. Some heard from the drone distributor, and some from social media and others. So you can see this is a survey. And we asked them, what benefits do you have to purchase a drone to apply? And then they say, oh, we can save time because it's faster, it's higher profit, less risk of health. You don't have to spray, we don't have to wear masks. Cambodia or Myanmar is very hot. Nobody wants to wear a mask or protection. So they use a drone, and it's safer and faster. So that's what they say. But it's not always good. Of course, they also say there are a lot of needs. Some problems is they don't know, they can identify the weeds. They don't know IPM. They just spray. The more they spray, the more money they get. They don't even think of IPM or integrated pest management. So they want us to help them develop the farmers field schools, Telegram groups. I don't know whether you have Telegram in Myanmar, and Telegram in Cambodia, very popular. Telegram and Facebook. So I'll quickly go through. This is a quite interesting one. We have problems in developing countries. Even I'm working in Sri Lanka also. What they have is a lot of chemicals, fertilizers are sold by small little shops like this. This is in Sri Lanka. But anyway, and what happens is that our farmers people think like ACR, my people who give me money, they think, oh, why don't you train the government, the extension officers? But when we ask the farmers, who do you get your information from? They don't say, oh, I get it from government extension officer. They said I get it from uh, the people I buy all these chemicals from. Or they get it from the cooperative, like you guys, you're cooperative, the leaders of the cooperative. So what we did was we did a social network analysis to ask people, where do you get your information from? Who do you ask from? So some people only have one friend, okay? Teng Chin, the friend. Only have one, okay? Only one Teng Chin, this one. So, but what we're trying to find is whether we can find people who have a lot of friends. So, Teng Chin, so a lot of friends, right? So you can see this guy has a lot of friends. And because this is the either the cooperative leader, or maybe this is the input seller that has a shop that sells all the fertilizers, chemicals. So what we do is we try to engage with these people more so that we can get the information out to more farmers within villages. So that's what we're trying to do in the strategy. I'll show you quickly. This is how it works. We have two drones, right? One is with a camera, taking a video of a second drone that's spraying. This is a rice field in Cambodia, in Battambang. And see our, there it is. You see a view of it. So the rice fields are not so big, but you can see that our ambassador, the ambassador of Australia to Cambodia, he's there. Of course, we are spraying just water. We don't want to, make smelly or make him angry or something. So he's looking at our demonstration. So basically, looking at this, he's very happy. He'll give us more money to invest more money into, developing drones or tractors for farmers so that they can use it. So you can see it goes up and down spraying. But the only issue is I guess it still has an issue with drift. You can see the wind blowing, it might blow the spray somewhere else. But still it is quite useful. Very popular now in Cambodia and China. I think at the latest I mentioned before, about 60% adoption in a lot of areas in Cambodia. So in our latest survey. So that's close to the end. Oh wow. There's someone drawing there. That's good. Okay, so that's the demonstration. I think my time is up, so I'll quickly let you answer. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'll stop sharing so you can see.
Thank you so much, Daniel.
So,
Yeah, very
okay.
informative.